Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing North, the latest mid-tour case from Fractal Design. And right away, if you take a look at the front panel, you can see this case's standout feature. The front panel is made from wood. If you get the white version like I've got here, it's going to be made from oak. If you get the black version, it's made from walnut. The other option that you have in this case is the side panel. It comes in tempered glass, but also it comes as a mesh version. And if you get the mesh version like I've got here, you're going to have the option to mount intake fans on the side and hopefully improve your temperatures. So I am recording this well in advance of the case launch, so I don't have an MSRP yet, but once I do, I'll put it in the description. Okay, let's dive in and take a closer look. To remove the case's side panel, we've got two captive thumb screws at the back. Once they've been loosened, the panel can be slid backwards, tilted out and lifted away. And the other side panel is removed in exactly the same way. Taking a look at the case's I/O, I think this looks really premium. We've got a metal power button, separate headphone and microphone jacks, two USB Type A ports and a single Type C port. Another nice design touch is we've got a leather tab on the back of the top panel. To remove the top panel, it's simply a matter of sliding it backwards and then it can be lifted away. Taking a look at the underside of the top panel, you'll notice we don't have a dust filter, although as most people will be having this as an exhaust, a dust filter is normally required. The wooden grille at the front of the case can simply be removed by pulling it out from the front. If we take a look at the back of the front panel, you'll notice we've got a full-length nylon dust filter. With the front panel removed, you'll notice we've got two Aspect 14 PWM fans pre-installed at the front. If you prefer, it is possible to mount up to three 120mm fans or up to a 280 or 360mm radiator at the front. Moving into the main body of the case, and in terms of motherboard support, North is compatible with up to full-sized ATX motherboards, although you can fit a micro ATX or mini ATX motherboard if you prefer. Taking a look at the rest of the fan and radiator mounting locations, at the top of the case you can fit up to two 140 or two 120mm fans or up to 240mm radiator. If you do want to install a radiator at the top of the case, you're going to have to be careful with your ram height, as it needs to be less than 35mm. At the rear of the case you can mount a single 120mm fan or 120mm radiator. North has a few other interesting fan mounting locations. On your PCI expansion slot brackets below your GPU, you're going to be able to mount an 80mm fan. While if you get the mesh version of the case like I have, in the case accessory box you're going to get a fan bracket which can accommodate up to two 140 or two 120mm fans to be mounted on the side of the case. If we take a look at the access panel at the front of the case, you'll notice it has 6 slots on it, and this means you're going to be able to mount this fan bracket in 3 different locations. It's just a simple matter of sliding the bracket into the slots and then securing it at the back with 2 captive thumb screws. So while the side fan mounted bracket should improve the case's airflow, it does come with some compromises, and those depend on which of the 3 mounting slots you put it in. In the top position, it is going to limit the height for your CPU cooler. The standard in this case is 170mm, and if you put it in the top slot, it's going to bring that down to 145mm. So if you install it in the middle slot, you're going to have the same restrictions on your CPU cooler height, but now you're just going to have a reduced width for your graphics card. So it comes down from the case's standard 178mm to 148mm, and that length does have to include the connectors plugging in to your graphics card. So that's if you mount your graphics card in the standard position in the first 3 slots. However, if you mount the graphics card in a lower PCIe slot in slots 4 to 7, you're going to have the full width of your graphics card of 178mm. If you put the side fan bracket in the bottom position, there's no restrictions on your CPU cooler height. However, the width for your graphics card is limited to 148mm no matter what slot you put it in. In terms of installing your graphics card, North has 7 horizontal PCI expansion slots and will accommodate graphics cards up to a maximum length of 355mm. It is important to note if you do want to go with an AIO at the front of the case, that's obviously going to reduce the length for your graphics card. And if you do decide to do this, you're going to need to remove the access panel at the front. There's a captive thumb screw at the top, and once it's been loosened, the panel can then be slid backwards, tilted out and lifted away. At the bottom of the case, we've got a tray-style dust filter over the power supply's intake, and I do think the feet on this case look really premium. Moving into the rear compartment, it's good to see we've got rubber grommets over the 2 main cutouts to the right hand side of the motherboard. We've got 3 Velcro cable straps to help with cable management and plenty of cable tie down points. At the top of the case we've got a fan hub with 4 PWM ports. It comes with a PWM cable to connect up to a fan header on your motherboard, but it's good to see that a SATA cable for power isn't required. There is an option to move the fan hub to the rear of the case. It's held on with 2 screws. Once these have been removed, you can move it to the location at the back of the case and then resecure it with the same 2 screws. In terms of drive mounting locations, we've got a dedicated 2.5-inch drive mounting bracket. It's held on with a thumb screw, and once it's been removed, you can attach your drives to the bracket and then screw them in from the back. At the bottom of the case, we've got 2 hard drive trays. They're each held on with a captive thumb screw, and once the captive thumb screw has been loosened, the drive tray can simply be pulled backwards to remove it from the case. In each of the drive trays, you're going to be able to install either a 2.5-inch drive, 3.5-inch drive, or one of each. Taking a look at the bottom of the case, you'll notice there's 4 mounting locations for the drive trays at the bottom of the case. If you want to install both of them at the bottom, you're going to have to put them in their default locations. And in that position, the maximum length for your power supply is 167mm. If you just go with one drive tray installed all the way to the front, the maximum length for your power supply is 255mm. If you move the drive cage to the second slot, you're going to have 215mm for your power supply length. In the third slot, it's 180mm, and if you put it all the way to the back slot, it's exactly the same compatibility as having the 2 trays installed at the bottom. You might wonder why you might want to move the drive cage back towards your power supply and limit its compatibility. The main reason for doing this is if you want to go with a 280mm radiator at the front, you can't have the drive cage installed in the first position closest to the front of the case. Although if you go with a 360mm radiator, you can have the drive cage all the way towards the front. There's also the option to install one of the drive trays on the top of the power supply compartment, which will be really useful if you had to move the drive cage back from the front where you're only able to fit one at the bottom. Or if you want to maximise the storage in the case, you can pick up an extra drive tray from Fractal, mounting 3 of them at the bottom. Taking a look at the rear of the case, it's good to see we've got a separate power supply bracket. It's held on with 2 captive thumb screws, so you're going to be able to secure this to the back of your power supply and slide it in from the back. So what I want to do now is give you a look at the build I put together in North. So I think the build looks great, but what about the temperatures? So the i7-13700K being cooled with a 360mm AIO at the front is set to intake, idled at 31 degrees and reached a maximum of 99 degrees during a 10-minute out of 64 stability test, with all components in the system being stressed. It is important to say there was no thermal throttling noted during the test. The RTX 3050 idled at 27 degrees and reached a maximum of 61 degrees during the stability test. In terms of noise levels, the average noise levels were 35 at idle and 52 under load. So the 3050 wasn't my first choice for this build. I was planning to put a 3080 into it, but I couldn't get the fans installed on the outside of the case with the radiator on the inside, and had to move the fans into the inside of the case on the other side of the radiator, and that meant the 3080 didn't fit, and the 3050 was the only card I had available to me on the day I was doing the build. It's obviously a card that doesn't run particularly hot, and it obviously wasn't a great test for these fans on the side, which I wanted to see did it improve GPU temperatures. So I swapped the GPU out for a 3060 Ti, which is a card I've done a number of builds with in the past. It runs at quite a high temperature, so it was perfect for testing these side fans. So taking a look at the temperatures, there was absolutely no difference to the CPU temperature with or without these side fans. Although when we removed the side fans, the GPU temperatures increased by 2 degrees at idle and 4 degrees under load. Removing the side fans, the PC did also run quieter under load by 2 decibels. So the side intake fans do seem to do a good job of reducing the GPU temperatures at only a minor increase in noise. So they do seem like quite a good idea that Fractal have come up with here, and they probably are worth installing. So now I want to come on to my experience of building in North. And I did have to change my planned build, as I've already mentioned, with swapping the graphics card out. And that was due to me not being able to mount the 360mm radiator at the front. So whenever I installed the radiator at the front, the bottom 2 holes on the radiator were blocked by the case. And despite bringing the radiator all the way up as high as it would go, there was no way for me to screw these in. So the only option this left me was to move the fans to the other side of the radiator, where they were able to be all screwed to the radiator. I still wasn't able to put the bottom 2 screws in on the other side, but because we had 10 screws holding the radiator to the case, I was still happy enough that it was secure. So obviously installing the fans on the other side of the radiator had a knock-on effect in reducing the length I had for my GPU, and the RTX 3080 was literally only going to fit by a couple of millimeters without the fans, so there was no way it was going to fit with them there. So I think if you are planning on going with a 360mm radiator at the front, my advice would be to factor in having the fans in the radiator at the front and reduce the length down for your GPU accordingly. So if you're picking out a GPU, make sure it's going to fit. Probably you would have a much easier building experience in this case with just putting a 240mm radiator at the top. And I think if I was building again, that's what I would do. Just be careful with your RAM height. You're going to want to keep that to less than 35mm if you are doing that. But apart from this, I had no other issues building in the case. So this brings me on to the things I liked about North. I think the first thing I liked about it is the aesthetics. It's nice to have something that looks completely different, and the wooden panel at the front really makes this case stand out. And you're either going to love it or hate it, but if you've got a nice oak tabletop, this is going to go very nicely with it. If you have a Corby tabletop like I do, the walnut in black is probably going to work very well for you. And I think as well, the case looks really premium. The power buttons look great on the front I/O, the text on it, it just really stands out and looks great, as do the feet, and it just gives this case a really premium feel. The other things I like were the access panel on the side. I think it does a great job of hiding the radiators and fan from the side, but still giving you nice access during the build. I thought it was nice to have the included fan hub, and good as well that it didn't require a SATA cable, because that's one less cable to have to manage at the back of the case. And I thought the fans on the side were really innovative, and it's good as well that they actually did a good job. They're not just a gimmick to look good or sell the case by doing something different. They actually worked and significantly brought the GPU temperatures down. So moving on to the things I didn't like about North, while I did like the wooden panel on the front, I wasn't a big fan of the mesh panel on the side, and I think the version with the tempered glass would actually have suited me better, because when I do a build, I like to look into the system and see all the components, and I don't like just a solid panel on the side that you can't really see through. Although actually when you did look at the panel, because I had gone with some RGB in the system and some lighting, you were actually able to look in through the mesh panel and pick out some of your components. Although if I'm doing a custom PC build, particularly in a bigger case, I want to see the build looking in through a tempered glass panel. So I've already mentioned the compatibility issues at the front with the 360mm radiator, in that we actually did have to install the fans on the inside of the case, and it just felt like wasted space at the front, given that a set of 3 fans does fit on the outer compartment of the case. It would have been nice if all the holes had lined up with the radiator, allowing me to install them that way and then increase the space for the GPU. The other side thing I didn't like was at the top of the case we've got a cutout to the left hand side of the motherboard, but there's no cutout at the top to the right hand side, and this meant that some of the cables did end up running over the case, not looking quite as tidy as they could otherwise. Although if you're going to go with fans or radiator at the top, they are going to help hide those cables. So now we've reached the point in the review where I need to tell you, should you go out and get this case? I think the answer depends really on, do you like the aesthetics of it and does it work for you? As I mentioned, if you've got a nice oak desk, the white version is probably going to work well for you. If you've got a walnut desk, then the black version with the walnut grille on the front is probably going to work for you. And it's good that Fractal as well have given you the choice of the mesh panel or the tempered glass panel on the side. So hopefully you'll get something that works for you. Obviously, if you hate the aesthetics of the wooden panel on the front, you're going to want to stay away from this one. In terms of the build quality, I think this is absolutely excellent throughout, but coming from Fractal Design, you're going to expect that. They make good quality cases with a high build quality. I do think that this one actually looks a little bit more premium than some of the other cases, particularly with the front I/O buttons and the metallic power button. And also I think the feet on this look really good, all combined with that wooden grille on the front, make this feel like a really high-end case. If you want to fit the highest end components in it, again, it's probably not the case for you because you are limited a little bit in your cooling. The 360 on the front isn't a good idea because it significantly reduces your GPU length, and with GPUs getting bigger and bigger, it's probably not a great idea. So you probably are going to leave the original fans on the front, put a 240 at the top, and that's going to give you 355 millimeters for your GPU. So you are going to be able to fit a pretty large GPU, although your CPU cooling is going to be limited to 240 on the top set to exhaust. So if you're happy with that cooling and you're happy with the aesthetics, it probably is a good case for you. And then I can 100% recommend it. I was very happy with the case, although I think the tempered glass panel would have been the version for me with the walnut, so it matched my desk setup behind me. So hopefully you have found this review useful. If you are thinking of doing a build in the case, I have done a full step-by-step build guide on it, and you'll find a link to that video in this description. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching.